What's up, everyone? In this video, we'll talk about the Asian range. So first of all, keep in mind that the Asian range will not help you if you don't have your overall analysis with other things. So you need your market structure with direction of the market, supply and demand, your liquidity areas, so liquidity, and so on and so on. So the Asian range is not useful if you don't do these things. These are way more important, okay? Now, after you've done this, the Asian range can help you increase your accuracy, increase the accuracy of your entries, refine your entries, understand better the market, and so on. So what is the Asian range? The Asian range happens during night. Well, it is night for me that I'm either in Italy or in Spain, Gran Canaria, but for other people could be during other times of the day. But I was just saying Asian range is basically during Asian session. And during Asian session, many pairs usually just range. It can be just a lateral range. It can be a range with a little bit of trend, but not really trending, okay? So something like this, but overall, it's a range, okay? It's not like the market is really trending or making the moves. Now, this applies to, it applies to all pairs, but especially it applies to major pairs. So Euro USD, let me write it down for everyone. Euro USD, AUD USD, GBP USD. Then I will use it on, you can use it on GBP AUD and GBP JPY too, but they are secondary. I don't really recommend it that much. You can use it on USD CHF. You can use it on NZD USD. Okay, you can use it on all pairs. I'm just giving the best ones that, in my opinion, are these. These are the ones that I tested the most. And then we have the secondary ones, which could be GBP AUD. I would avoid GBP JPY, GBP CAD definitely. Let's see, USD CAD. Okay, these are good too. Now, this doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to other pairs, but I prefer these. Why? Because other pairs have, for example, the JPY, and the JPY can actually trend during the night. Okay, not every time, but it can do that. So it doesn't really apply. So I recommend to apply it more to these. Now, how does it work? During Asian session, we create the Asian range. To find it, you can just use an indicator. As you know, I don't use indicators. This is not like to help us trade. It's just to let us see where the Asian range is. If I go on the chart, I'll show you. It just shows you where the Asian range is. So basically, let me delete these things. Okay, this is the indicator, just shows you that this was the Asian range. And basically, you can just put a box from the highest point to the lowest point and mark it out, and then you can just take off the Asian range. It just helps you instead of opening your chart and looking at the time where the Asian range started and where it finished and marking yourself the highest and lowest point, you can just use an indicator that tells you the range basically. So you can find it with that indicator, and it marks out your Asian range. I usually recommend to draw a box around your Asian range. And in this case, from the lowest point to the highest. Okay. And then you have your Asian range. Now, why do you need it? First of all, we need to know the same way that equal highs and that, I don't know, trend lines and so on are manipulated. So the same way that these things have liquidity here and here, if you are in an uptrend, okay? Also, the Asian range has liquidity, both above it and below it, okay? So keep in mind, the Asian range builds liquidity. It is a range, therefore, as you know, ranges have liquidity, okay? This, so far, this doesn't really help you, as this is not, this needs to be put together with a chart, direction of the market, so whether we are bearish or bullish, order block, and also other liquidity levels, liquidity points. So whether we have trend lines, whether we have some double tops, double bottoms, but overall, this is the Asian range. Now, what are the possibilities after the Asian range? After the Asian range, London session starts. And after London session, as you know, we have New York session. What are the possibilities during these sessions? The possibilities are that we manipulate the Asian range. So for example, if the direction of the market is to the downside, we manipulate to the upside and then we continue to the downside. Or that we actually, maybe the direction is to the downside and we just break to the downside, retest the Asian range to continue, okay? And of course, this is kind of obvious that these are the two possibilities. Also, this is during London session. We also have possibilities that during London, we manipulate and drop, and that during New York, we retest and continue, which is different than what I showed earlier, which was just drop, retest, and continue. In this case, manipulate, drop, retest during New York, and continue, okay? Now, another option is manipulate, London rally after manipulation, New York reversal. So let me write all of this down for you. I know that if you don't use these together with an understanding of market structure, supply and demand, and liquidity, these don't really help you, but it's good to know these things in order to have an understanding of the market. So here with the Asian range, so you have a possibility of manipulation plus rally to the opposite direction. Then you have how to call it? We have a let's call it that the market takes a direction, retests the Asian range, and then continues. This is option 1, option 2. Then we have that. Then we have to also include New York session. We have the option that we have London manipulation and rally to the opposite direction, plus New York retest and continuation, or basically the same thing to London manipulation and rally to the opposite direction, plus New York, plus New York reversal, actually. Okay, so okay, so we have possibly London manipulation, and after the manipulation we manipulate to take a direction, and then New York reversal, which is the last one that we talked about. We have London manipulation and rally to the opposite direction, plus New York retest, so which was this one, London manipulation plus taking a direction, New York retest for a continuation. Then we have market takes a direction and retest during the A and retest the Asian range and then continues. So instead of manipulating and then taking a direction, it just takes a direction, retraces to retest the Asian range and continues. Or just basic, which was the first one, manipulation and rally to the opposite side. So manipulation and rally to the opposite side. Of course, there can be other variables where you have London taking a direction and retesting and continuing, and then New York actually reversing and finally continuing to the upside. But this all depends on higher time frames direction, supply and demand areas, and liquidity areas. Keep in mind, this is just for an extra understanding of the market, okay? So let's delete all of these things. All right. Now, most importantly, we will need to use this together, as I said already many times, together with higher timeframes, and I will need to show you confirmations and examples with the chart. Now, for example, since I have one here, which is a trade that we are in right now, actually in the VIP channel, this is the Asian range. This is when I put AR. Let's delete the indicator, and you will need these fib levels as projections. You can copy this, take a screenshot, take a photo, do whatever you want, and actually save them. You can go to template, save as, and you save them as Asian range projections. And this will actually help you project the Asian range. So see the projections of the Asian range in order to see possible targets and possible entry areas. I will not explain this in this video. This will be in the next video. But as you can see, we have the push to the upside. So let's do the overall analysis so you can get an idea. So EURUSD is bearish. Do we agree? Yes, market structure is bearish. Then we have our 15 minutes supply right here, right? That which is at a premium area. You see the 0.5 here, premium area. Then we have the Asian range, which we found with our indicator of the Asian range, or we can just look at the time and mark the Asian range by ourselves. And then we have the projections of the Asian range right here. We have the 1.5 projection, which is here, which is where the market reaches. It doesn't perfectly stop at the 1.5. It actually reaches the order block, and this is why it's important to have an over understanding of the market and not rely only on the Asian range, and then it drops, okay, after confirmation. Okay, I'll see you on the next video for a more in-depth explanation on how to use the Asian range.